Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. We are back. We back. We're so excited. We thank you guys for joining us. This is season 1, episode 2, part 2 of the Roundtable. We are back with my people. We're talking about marriage and divorce in the Black community. As you guys know, the last episode was about marriage and divorce in the Black community, but it got so good that we had to keep it going. So it's like I feel it. Like I just got chills. It got so good. So, introducing, my name is Heather Dee, host and producer of the Roundtable Shy. Right here is my lovely cousin, Crystal. Yes. I was waiting. I'm like, what you gonna do? All right, this is Earl, Greasy, better known as. It's Carla. And this is Wayman, who owns this lovely establishment. We're at Smoke-Filled Room, 3359 West 79th Street, Chicago, Illinois, on the south side. South side. Everything good happens on the south side. Can we agree? Yes, absolutely. So, want to get started. We have a more intimate setting today, I would say. So, we're going to get real intimate in this intimate setting. Okay, y'all ready?
Ready.
Okay. First question is, what do you think is the best way to resolve conflict in a relationship? Wayne.
Sex.
Ding, 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 ding. That's the first thing.
No, I would say communication, and that communication is based off of an understanding you all should have had in the beginning that created the relationship, and that communication you should all go back to zero. So, make sure are we checking all these bells that we set up in the beginning. Okay. And that should help.
How do you go back to zero?
Again, like very early on in a relationship, you should set a ground point. Like, hey, here's what we're about. Here's what our goals are. And so whenever you get off course, you should be able to go back to those basic tenets that you all use to develop that relationship. Now, there's a whole lot of technical words for love and emotion and passion, but and what? I guess I'm focusing on marriage.
Well, because we were talking about marriage and divorce. But
I guess for me, there's two different things. Okay. There is marriage, and then there's a relationship. Okay. Everything's a relationship outside of marriage, right? Right. So, in an aspect of marriage, you should go back. I'm going to change everything I just said because my answer was dealing with marriage. Okay. As a relationship is temporal. I mean, it could potentially have an expiration date. Some people in your life for a season and a reason, right? So, if you all have conflict, your zero should be deciding, do we continue this relationship in this fashion, or do we need to change the dynamics of the relationship? Okay. All right.
Crystal, what do you think is the best way to resolve conflict?
Say communication, but that doesn't happen a lot because people get in there, pride, ego, other people in their ear, you have all of that. So I think at the end of the day, I think for me now, not when I was in my marriage. When I was in my marriage, I didn't listen. So I didn't listen to outside people. I didn't do that because it was me and him, and it was a lot of people against us. So I didn't do that in our marriage. But now, just being like he said, a relationship, because I agree, a relationship is this, but the marriage is the title. So I think that the relationship is what that is, a relationship. I think it's just talking to each other. You're gonna have differences. I'm not gonna agree with you. You're not gonna agree with me. But just be able to understand each other's side.
Is that easy for you?
It's not easy at all, no. But sometimes you have to humble yourself. Just like, now I hear a lot of women and men, women more so, I want this in a man, this in a man, this in a man, but are you that? You're asking those questions for him, but you're not that. So would you date yourself? Yeah. So at the end of the day, ask what you want because you are that, not because that's what you want. That's what I feel.
Or perhaps you could be aspiring to be that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, because I think that's fair too.
Because I think we have to understand that.
Okay.
Women don't understand that at all, I don't think.
well, I don't think it's just for women. I know that all women do not understand that. I think that people don't necessarily understand that. So we're looking for this thing, right? For all of us, we want that thing, but we're not necessarily that thing. Nor do we know what to do how to be that thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, Carla.
Like communication, but for me personally, I had to learn when I'm upset, I cannot talk to you then. I need to take some time, gather my thoughts, and then come and talk to you and have a conversation. And if we don't agree, we just have to learn to agree to disagree. That took maturity to get to this point. Because before, I would be like, okay, you did something, and I would hold it in, keep it in. Then you do something that's small, but I'm blowing up about something you did 2 years ago that I never addressed with you, you know? Okay. So, I'm not a confrontational person. Okay. But when I am, it's like 0 to 100. So I had to learn. I had to learn to step back and gather what I need to say and address it within a few hours or so. Like, look, we need to talk about this, and I might still not agree with you, but you know what? We can agree to disagree. This is how I feel. I'm listening to how you feel, and I understand where you're coming from. Just understand where I'm coming from, and let it be. We agree to move on and drop this issue, but yeah, you have to communicate. You have to, and I had to learn that over the years because I still have to work on it. But it's
and then it's communicating effectively too, because there's so many different types of communication.
And listen to understand, not just to hear. So when you're listening to when they're talking to you, and you notice when someone's talking, you only picking out the words that you want to attack. You're not listening to actually processing what they're saying, to really understand what they're saying. And they could have said a whole bunch of stuff, but you like one thing, and they're like,
look, still learning, right? Absolutely,
right. So I'm working on that now. I'll listen to, but it's like, am I truly understanding and comprehending what you're saying?
Right. We're not just hearing; we're listening.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Greasy. What do you think is the best way, I would say, to resolve conflict?
Bribery.
Okay, that may be.
Women love when you bring them shit and then it's over. Or at least it's calmed down. No, seriously.
I was just, go ahead. No.
That works.
Like I didn't say it would be over, but it will go down from a level.
Like, just give me a tattoo. I'll shut up after this tattoo.
You can lead with bribery, but I think after that, definitely high on my list is seeing the situation from the other person's point of view, putting yourself in their shoes. And to me, that's the part so many of us miss, especially men, because I hear men have these conversations about shit they did to their woman, and it's like, dude, you would if your woman did that shit to you, you would never go for that shit.
So y'all have a conversation,
amongst the brethren. Just like you all talk.
Got it.
Yeah.
So y'all all check each other though.
Right.
Well, it depends. It depends on the type of guys you're around.
Got it.
It depends on the level of maturity.
Got it.
But definitely just understanding. Like, I got to a point in my life where I look back at my 20s and I was just like, I did all those women wrong, because I never looked at things from their point of view. I was just young and I was 20 and I could get what I want, so I was doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. And then in my 30s and 40s, I had to, a lot of people I ran into, I actually had to apologize.
Oh,
it's like, yo,
that's stand up. That is to do that.
That's dope.
That really is.
So, yeah,
I was going to say, do you ever think about the effect that you put on them
and all you
as a woman?
I'm sorry. That's it.
Yeah, like I don't get it twisted. I wasn't no dog ass dude, but I was moving how I wanted to move.
Yeah.
So
But the fact
I
you
fucked
did
up a few
that,
good
that
women.
was awesome.
I fucked them up a little bit, and I feel like for you to have closure, a lot of times you have to get that understanding from a person that hurt you. Like, yo, I was bogus. But again, putting myself in their shoes. Like, yo, I was bogus. I shouldn't have been bogus like that.
You need to do a one-on-one class.
We're gonna play
you really
scheduling therapy with Dreamy.
I've never heard a man say that. I've never heard a man.
For real,
I've never
heard a man
that don't
say
understand.
that. I've never heard a man
They
say
will say, I will go back and apologize for what. No, they'll turn it around like, well, you shouldn't have made me do this. And 20 years later, like, really?
Right.
You're not accountable for,
Absolutely.
That's
right.
Because every action does a reaction. So.
Yeah.
I think for me, and it's something that like we're not perfect at, like we're all still works in progress, we're all learning, we all mess up, none of us are perfect, right? But you did say like the buzzword is accountability, like being accountable for your actions, and sometimes you don't get that accountability immediately, like sometimes you have to be shown, right? And that's okay if you can be shown, but if you can humble yourself and say, you know what, I did mess up here, or you know what, I didn't see it like you said, like seeing it from the other person's perspective. So like communication, sex, right? Like that is honestly, and trust me when I tell you, to get a relationship back on track, most times, if that relationship is workable, because some relationships just are not workable anymore. It's like we have lost whatever it is that we were trying to gain along the way, we lost it. But for some relationships, all it takes is coming together intimately, shutting everything else
But how
out.
does that resolve it though?
It helps. It's not the key to everything, right? But it definitely helps. Coming together intimately, shutting the world out, that can bring you guys back to an understanding.
To me, like once, we both come and it's like, I'm like, okay, the issue.
So you're still okay. You're still mad after the
A
come.
big part of why you feel how you feel is because of what it looks like to other people. So I get what you're saying. It's like, if in your mind you'll say, my girls never believe I'll let this nigga get away with this. You know what I'm saying?
But see, I've never been that girl.
Never?
I've never been that girl that cared about what people thought.
Okay.
Because they told me not to marry who I married, and I have to learn stuff on my own. That's my problem. I'm the kid that got to touch the stove and learn on my own. I don't care what you think or what you say. I've always been my own person that did what I wanted to do, and then in the end, I can come back and be like, you know what, y'all was right. I shouldn't have married his ass. I shouldn't have did this or that. But I've never really. I've always did my own world, my own way, and did my own thing, But yeah, I don't really. You can say whatever you want to say about. Like I'm pretty much an open book, so that part I really wouldn't care about what they think or say because your shit fucked up too. You can't tell me that my stuff is messed up, and I know what I'm saying, your stuff. So, but yeah.
But for those who do,
Yeah.
I personally have encountered a lot of people who think like that.
Yeah.
And like she's saying, if you look at it for what it is, like it's me and this other person, and let's just close the mental, all the noise out, and look at what we got going on and what we want for each other. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Essentially,
Like that.
yeah.
And then you kind of get a clearer line of sight to how to resolve the conflict. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think what also goes along with sex is both accountable, especially in the case where you both come, right?
Which is highly important because if that's what you're doing. If that's what you're doing, that's what we're supposed to do. We just let y'all know.
This is why we argue in the first place, okay?
Somebody's not coming. No.
No, because
That should be. You need to add this into that's key.
Someone's not coming.
But that is key.
One of us is not coming.
because I think we'll talk, but it is a certain level of submission that both the man and the woman kind of give in that moment of kind of orgasmic release. And if y'all so angry, but y'all are still able to kind of submit to each other in that intimate way, that means there is some hope for discourse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
I'm telling you.
once they turn you out,
I don't know.
But you have to listen to
Fucked a lot of people you don't really like.
See, me, I'm different.
We're talking about people that you've been in
Be
relationships.
attracted to you.
No, we're talking about relationships.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
talking
so
about
we're in
one hitter
relationships,
quitters.
yeah.
We're talking about. I'm trying to keep it on track,
Actually,
America.
when we were married, I had sex with my husband, and I wanted to stab him in his throat, but I was like, "Come on, let me just."
That's okay. So this is what I'm saying.
So at the end of the day, after we finished, okay, I still want to do it, but let me go to another room, so I don't do
But
it.
you were still in a relationship.
I want to come
You were
again.
still
coming.
on top of a relationship, y'all were married, so there was a covenant still in existence, and that's what a relationship is—a miniature covenant, right? And so you were still within it, and so the rules still apply.
Absolutely.
She's like, I got to think about that.
It's true. We're gonna work.
I guess you're right. Because even now, before I used to, I'm like, okay, you want to fuck, whatever. Come on, let's do it. But now that I'm in a relationship, it's like, look, I don't feel like it, and I'm done because I don't have to give you that. I can just say I'm done. So you're right. Okay,
so that's the next topic.
I'll give you that. Stand down. I'll give you that.
Yeah, we'll talk about withholding sex too.
Well, I never did that in my marriage.
Should never happen.
Never.
No.
Let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Withholding sex. Okay.
don't do that.
Thank you.
I didn't.
Talk
I
about
was on my period for a month.
what? Why?
But that's when
No
I,
health issues.
No,
I'm sorry for saying that. Right.
I didn't have a period, but that's when I knew I was done.
Okay.
Because I was just like, I like to have sex, and I wanted to have. I always like. That's probably what kept us together that long because we had good sex. But when it got to the point where I look at you and I'm not even turned on by you, and I don't want you to touch me, I'm like, okay, it's time.
Then you know it's over. At that point, it's over.
I was like, this is over, and it was kind of, it was sad. It was like a death because it's like, you know,
it's mourning.
right? It's like this is somebody I've dealt with on and off for years, and it's like I look at you and I don't even want you to touch me.
Right.
It's like he becomes a stepbrother or something. It's like.
Yeah.
Like now I see him, I'm like, oh, like.
So let me ask you a question. So even after you all decide to be done, you never dip back off?
One time.
Okay.
And it was just like.
And you did that because remember you're still in that I don't want you to touch me phase.
Well, we had been apart. It was like we had separated for about a year, and we hung out one night, and you know it was just one thing led to another.
When the Remy hit the system.
Pretty much, yeah. Right. we was the friends and stuff. We was hanging out that whole day, like the old times. It brought back
Shout
the
out
old
to Francis.
memories.
Right.
And then it was just like afterwards, it was still like this. It's just not there. It's not there anymore, you know?
I mean, I think we've all been there, though.
Yeah,
like,
one time for the one time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I went through that, like, after I separated and divorced. It was like, oh, you want to hit? Okay. And then it got to a point where it was like, you know what? I don't even like you. So, no, you can't because I don't have that urge to get that need fulfilled by you any longer. So now when I see you, oh, what's up, brother? You know, how you doing? Like, we're step siblings, you know?
Pretty much like we share a child.
We're co-parenting. How are you? Doing good?
Yeah.
Do you want me to introduce you to someone? I've found someone really beautiful. I think that you would like you get to that point. Like it's not even funny. That is a real thing. Honestly. You thought I was crazy when I first told you that.
That is a very real thing.
But it's a real thing. When you get to a point where you're so over someone that you are looking for options for them
to leave you alone. Yeah.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. No. So I think people find it hard to get to that point because they think it's a bad thing. I truly think the biggest expression of love is I love you for you.
Right.
Meaning I realize that I'm not the best for you.
Yeah. And I can let you go.
But
And I got somebody that I think that you need that can fulfill
I talk to him now about the person he with. I'm like, you can do much better than this. Like, let me find you somebody. Let me take you. Like, you're
Allegedly.
What? Allegedly.
This is being recorded. So. Okay.
She said straight up. No. You said yes, absolutely, 100%.
I'm saying what I'm saying is all fact. I can find.
We're naming no names.
Okay, let's go.
We're not gonna flash your name on the screen.
Say a name, bro. The person he's with now, I really think he can do much better. I think that this is what I've noticed too. I've noticed after us being in a marriage and stuff, I've trained him how to treat another woman.
Absolutely.
So he's treating her well, but she's not accepting the treatment that he's giving to her and the maturity. So it's constantly an argument, and it's like, dude, why you know what I'm saying? I understand. Why are you even like move on to somebody that can understand and appreciate how you've grown and where you are now in your life? You know,
but I'm not that person.
Right. But let me help you find somebody that's gonna be good for you, and that is I've outgrown being that person for you. You know, so you need somebody that's gonna be able to take care of your needs at this time, and let me help you find it.
Okay. What do you think about withholding sex? Crazy.
That shit whack, man. That shit whack. It's manipulation. I don't rock with it at all. Like, for real, man. It's bogus, man. It's like, if you do that and then he cheats, then he's a bad guy. You know.
I agree. And I think I'm one of the few women.
You agree he's a bad guy?
No. I agree that if you do withhold sex and he cheats,
He's cheating and would leave. He's still leaving. I was giving this.
but I'm talking about someone who maybe is not cheating, right?
Okay,
If you withhold sex from your man and he cheats on you, you cannot question as to why he cheated.
Yeah,
I agree with that
definitely.
wholeheartedly, 100%.
Definitely.
That's a thing.
No.
Tell me why.
Because you need to have a conversation. You don't know why what's going on is going on. I mean,
I'm talking about after the conversations. Now because you don't just go cheat after the first time.
Withholding sex is a whole conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking strictly in the sense of it's a manipulation. Whatever you have going on mentally,
I don't think you should
spiritually, or emotionally.
No, that's
No. I thought, you know how sometimes you just, I mean, you know, obviously I'm speaking of this term. I don't even speak of that term because he would have just took it. So,
Oh my gosh.
in that term, okay, all right. See,
I know. I'm recycling.
Yeah, because I was 14.
I know where you are.
11 years.
I know where you are. Right.
You know, it's like a common law, but it's not. You know, so it's like, all right, got it.
Okay. What were you saying?
Nothing.
No, I'm saying the context,
Right.
the context of withholding it, because of course you got stuff that be going on. Even mentally, you're not, like we talked about in part one. You're not always going to be in sync like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes she'll be horny and he'll be horny, whatever the case may be. But when it comes to the point where it's a manipulation, like I'm upset with you.
Right.
So even though you're doing the things that I know turn me on, I'm going to resist because I want A, B, C, or D.
Right.
I'm not with that shit.
Right.
That shit's whack.
Right. You're trying to get something else out of the situation.
There's so many other things that you can use to manipulate. Then you just open the door to manipulation. You know.
I agree with that.
That's true.
I agree. So, if you're unhappy with your spouse, right? Do you share that with them? Do you?
Absolutely.
Do you share it immediately?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Because sometimes you may be the issue. Something going on in your life, your family, work. It may be the reason that you end up taking that out on your home life. So no, not right away. I might be unhappy at home, at work, but because I can't vent there, I vent to you, and everything that you do makes me want to just...
Okay. Wait a minute. If you're unhappy with your spouse, do you share it immediately, right away?
I guess it depends on what level and reason is for the unhappiness, right? You know, did you mess my eggs up?
You know,
outside the eggs, wait a minute. Are you?
I don't know about the eggs.
they were soupy.
Exactly. But for me, it depends on what the reason is for that.
Me too.
It's a family thing. That's our family.
Because we know about them eggs, baby.
But it depends on the reason.
Right.
But if it is something, if I'm upset with you for something I feel is critical, right? If it's one of the critical issues, then yeah, I'm gonna let you know up front. Like,
Okay.
Hey, because I want to be on track.
Right.
But if it's something like, you know, not the eggs, then
Everything outside of the eggs.
then I'm going to take a moment, observe, and by moment I'm going to give you a temporal. I'm going to give you a time period.
Okay.
I mean, I don't stew over anything longer than 48 hours, right? So if it's bothering me longer than 48 hours, before it becomes a problem, I'll let you know.
Okay. Have you seen success in that?
Yeah, because but the goal is that they always know where I'm at. Because what happens is when you don't communicate, you get lost.
Right.
You know, and then the further you get away from home, the harder it is to find home. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Once you get that for you, like out there, like, woo.
I'm telling you.
Like,
Serious.
literally.
And that's
When you that's a whole nother about separating and stuff, like taking time apart. I would not recommend anybody do that. Because once
yeah, we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
We can absolutely discuss the time apart, because I want to continue on this really quickly. So, so you're saying you have seen success What happens when you don't see success in that?
That means that there is a deeper issue. Something else is going on. So if I am exposing myself to you, because that takes work. It's like having kids or being in management. Having to discipline somebody.
Maybe having a team.
Especially if you have, a system. You better do a system because you got to bring receipts. You got to be like, huh? No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Wait,
okay, hold
one
on.
moment.
Right.
I'm joking, but I'm serious.
That wasn't me, it was Heather. Her hair's just like mine.
Right.
But you must be able to kind of illustrate, what's going on or what the issue is, and so it's so if you're not saying results and communicating directly, that means that you two are not seeing the truth the same way. You all do not have the same true north, and so then you all got to get back to true north so that you all can continue on the path together.
And sometimes, a lot of times, that does not happen. That's why there's so many divorces today. What about you, Gracie? When you first started being unhappy in your marriage, did you communicate that immediately?
I don't think anybody does just immediately. Time kind of reveals things more so. I think the communication initially in a lot of situations. We were both cancers, right? So it was just a storm cloud of emotions constantly running through everything we had going on, and I think it took us a long time, probably even after the fact, to communicate a lot of the things that were going on, with us individually and as a couple.
Right.
I think that was one of something that we learned from. I think it was a major flaw. Like we weren't. Not only were we not communicating, we weren't ready to take what was said and view it from an objective point of view so that we could reach a resolution.
Okay.
It was like, I say this, so now you feel this way.
Right.
You say this, so now I feel that way. Then we're quiet again for another week.
Very passive aggressive.
Not productive at all.
Yeah. Okay.
You mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Zig Ziglar, describes this in his book, and it says if you have a pot of boiling water and you put a frog in it, the frog's gonna jump out, right? But if you take that same frog, put them in lukewarm water, and slowly heat that water up, you'll boil the frog, right? And so I think what the description, what he just described, is boiling the frog over time. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's just something that we have to be mindful of if we allow these things to kind of fester.
Right. Okay.
Don't boil the frog.
Gotcha. No boiling frogs. Crystal.
Yes.
Were you honest with Terrell about when you first started to become unhappy? Did you express that to him?
Yes.
I think I was just gonna say yes because
you already know I am.
Say, yeah,
I'm very
absolutely.
upfront. I'm very blunt, but I'm very understanding. And I'm very transparent. So I know things happen. So I need to just know where you at. I always need to know where are we at, because that, to me, that just determines the flow of the household, the flow of everything. I just need to know. I need to know.
Right.
So if something's off and it's off for more than like 48 hours, okay. Hey, what's going on? What's happening?
Right.
I just do. But I think that's okay though. It's not like, oh, you're always saying something's wrong. No, I notice women notice the difference in their men. They just do. I don't necessarily know if men do because I'm not a man. But with women, we notice what you do, what you don't do, how you act when this happens. So if it's off, and it's off for too long, what's wrong?
I think an intuitive man knows when something is off, right? If you're intuitive, if you're paying attention, I absolutely believe so. If you're paying attention, if you're a man who takes time, we're gonna get there. If we already know. If you're a man who takes the time to understand, right? That doesn't come overnight. But it doesn't come overnight with any of us. But if you care enough to pay attention to the person that you're in a relationship with, when something is off with them, you will know. You want to know why? That energy is going to be different.
Yes and no though, because even I think that especially if you're a man and you work in a household and you're doing this and you're making sure that you're not really focusing on that.
But that's the missing key though. You have to be intuitive. You can't just
I don't want to fault you because you working really hard and you just ain't picked up on my bitchness.
Yeah. I am gonna
though.
fault you for that because if it goes too long, I'm not gonna fault you.
Too long. How long?
If it goes for me, whatever's too long for me,
Got it.
your too long for you is different than my too long for me. So if it goes too long for me, that you're not picking up on the clues and the signs, and I'm sitting here waving red flags and everything, and you still don't get it, then there's something wrong.
It's a disconnect.
But why not say, hey?
After I've said it,
homeboy, we need a conversation.
Well, I'm direct, so after I've said it, and if you still don't get it, then there's a problem here. Then we need to figure it out, right? Why do you think that's hard for people, though? Can we give you some time?
I would say for me, for someone to come, or my ex-spouse to come and say, hey, I'm unhappy. For me, because I feel like I'm doing it all. I think we look at the situation in one,
like one-dimensional, maybe.
We're like, oh, I'm doing this, 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 so I'm good with it. But to you, you're like, okay, that's all great. Thank you, babe, for doing that. But this is what I need. And sometimes it's not even what we think it is. It's conversation, or I just want you to sit here. I want you to not touch your phone and just talk to me. Right. So it's hard. Even at work, it's hard for somebody to tell you, I think, what you're not doing, even when you think you're doing a good job. I think it's hard.
That is true. You get blindsided sometimes.
I think it's really hard, especially now if you just being a piece of shit. Like, I mean, come on now. Homegirl, look, you ain't cooked in days, kids dirty, clothes dirt. Like, you know you're not doing a good job. But when you're doing everything,
right,
and you're like, wait, what do you, what?
Yeah.
What more you want?
Yeah.
Right.
But what more that they want could be extremely valid though. Yeah. And I think that if you are that person who is doing everything and you're like, you feel like your checks and balances are always there for yourself, and then they come to you and they say, I'm unhappy with this. It's like, fuck you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this, but you're not taking the time again to see it from that other person's side, like we said.
No, you know what? So in my marriage, from the beginning, I am not a domestic goddess. I'm not cooking over the stove 24 hours a day. That has been my thing from the beginning. Now I can go and pick us up some good food, make it look nice, and I'll cook every now and then. But it became an issue. Like, you knew this in the beginning. Don't try to make me into something that you knew I wasn't in the beginning. You knew I didn't cook and do all of this.
But needs can change though, right? So sometimes what we didn't find important in the beginning, it's okay for that to change, but we have to have that conversation. I may not be, my wants and my needs, this is why we need to talk about love languages, right? My love languages can change over time, and that's okay that they do. So it's okay that you didn't cook that much in the beginning, but maybe that's a requirement that he started to have.
Well,
right?
But that's not what, and you understand that that's not what I do, and that's not what I appreciate. Now, I did more because I know that's what you like. But you're not going to expect me every day to come home and there's a hot meal. I'm not doing that. That's never been me. Okay. So, but I will do more and learn. So he would want me to learn different things. He's like, it's not that I can't cook. It's just that some people enjoy it. Like that's their quiet time. Right. That's their relaxing time to do it. Right. That's just not me. That's not mine. It's not like I can't do it. But I'm not going to sit up and have like a whole feast. Morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, because your grandmother did that, once she retired early, and she was able to do that because your grandfather allowed for her to do that financially. Now, you want me to sit at home and you're gonna take care of me, and I'm the housewife, then most definitely. But we're not both about to be out working.
I understand that.
And I'm
communication compromise.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Why do you think that's hard for people to explain why they're unhappy?
I think it kind of like what I said earlier, just, you know, when the other person starts talking, a lot of times you instantly think about how you feel as opposed to what you should be doing or what you all can be doing together to fix it. You know, somebody says, I'm not happy with you, you take offense first. And then offense is followed immediately by contempt. And
you feel
so
that
long,
thing.
you so long being offended and holding them in contempt that you don't move to the next stage of, okay, well, how can we fix this? You know, because your first man is, I know I did.
Some people stay in contempt though, and that's a problem. Some people stay there, like that offense, that contempt, and it's okay to be offended, but how do we get past it?
And that's where toxicity, when people be like, you're toxic, because they go from that stage of contempt, and then they already messing up, and you told them they messing up, but now they holding you in contempt. So they want to get at you, and now they messing up worse. And then before you know it, you don't want to be bothered with them no more, and now they like, well, what did I do? Like, I told you, and you didn't listen.
Now it's over.
You know, so yeah.
It's over now.
So what happens is now you start being contemptuous, right? So that's what happens. I'm getting all the energy, now I'm starting to give it energy.
Yeah.
And that's when the ship falls.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So who can say that they're enjoying themselves today?
I'm having a blast.
Everybody, I'm so excited. I actually like this more intimate setting a little bit, right? Okay, it's working out. It's working out.
Where's the
Right. So where's Yoda? Because Baby Yoda cannot come. We'll talk about Baby Yoda at some point. So, Crystal, what makes you feel loved?
Really, right?
Yeah, that's a good
one.
I know what makes you feel loved, but it's not about.
I would say being listened to, being accepted, and being understood.
By your partner.
Yes.
Okay, can you dive a little deeper into acceptance?
Acceptance, because what I came from, and not as far as my background with my parents, but when you get older, you start diving into different levels of partying, hanging out, sexuality, things of that nature. So for someone to understand my broad understanding of my sexuality and what I expect in the bedroom, what I expect as far as gender roles in my household, what I expect as far as blended families, what I expect as far as understanding, hey, I might mess up, I might miss a beat, you might miss a beat, but let's talk about it and not be disrespectful outside, because I'm known outside and you're not, but I am. The type of person that I am, people know me, so I need you to, respect and understanding me is just really big for me, because if you look down and say, oh, you this and that, that's just going to just do me really bad. It's going to do me really bad.
Okay.
You have to understand where I came from. And if you understand the life I lived after 21, then we good, we great.
Okay. Okay, LaJoyce Jr. All right. Greasy, what makes you feel loved?
Attentiveness.
Okay, dive into that a little bit.
That's it, attentiveness.
Okay.
If you love somebody, you're gonna be attentive. You know, you're gonna be you're gonna pay attention. You're gonna be engaged.
Right.
You know, you're going to, like she said, notice things and just, you know,
the unspoken sometimes, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. And persistence.
Effort, right?
Persistence. No, because effort come and go, but persistence. When you love somebody,
but isn't persistence and effort, like, don't they go hand in hand?
Because you can put in effort for 5 minutes and then not care the next day.
I don't know. I maybe my definition is different.
I'll give you an example. I have one of my best friends from high school, right? No matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am, I mess up all the time in the friend zone. But she's always
regardless. So she's not matching your energy.
And she'll talk shit about me. You know, you're supposed to did this and that. What you doing? You know, blah blah blah. Yeah. She's persistent.
Gotcha.
You know, that makes me. I know she love me because she be on that regardless of the fact. You know, so.
Got it. Okay, Carla.
Respect and just being like knowing that you are like a protector, you know. I just want to. I feel like to know that I'm safe. That everything in my heart, my mind, everything is just safe with you, and you're not going to like. You might hurt. So how do I explain it? You can. Nobody's perfect, but in the things that you do, as long as it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Right.
So if you at least, you know, you might make a mistake, but at least think about me when you make a mistake. At least not try to, you know, disrespect me and make me look stupid. Like, okay, I can take you. All right, you slipped up, whatever. But just love me enough to not make me look like a fool and protect me in that sense. That type of thing. That's safety. Just being there. Like little things. If my tire blows out, like that type of stuff, that show you can come and change it. Like that type of stuff, I just love.
It goes a long way.
Yes,
girl, I'm changing my own tire.
I'm
You know
not.
I'm
I'm not.
this.
I know, but I'm not. That's okay.
But I get what you're saying.
Right.
But you know,
Right,
So I get it.
just being there. You know that
Right.
type of thing.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
I love these answers, and I want to give a response to the answers. But I'll give you my answer first.
Okay, and then you respond.
Then I'll
Then throw it back to me so I can respond. Okay.
please, I do. I follow instructions
That's that
very
Aries.
well. It's my superpower.
Oh my God.
Like, what do you think is your relationship superpower?
Can I talk about mine? Can I talk about mine?
That's my question. That's my question for today. What is your relationship superpower?
We're gonna get to that soon.
And mine.
Wait. You we're gonna get back to that.
But no, I would say understanding, right? And for me, it's really simple. I invest so much of myself in the people around me, and especially if you're my woman. You know, there's so much just mentally, spiritually, emotionally trying to get my claim to fame is I leave them better than I found them. So, so that's real talk, not a joke.
Right.
So I invest so much of myself. And I'm really looking for someone that understands and really sees what I'm doing. Sometimes people just don't see the work you're doing because they're in the relationship for them. You know, they're trying to get something out. They see what you can do for them. It's very few, small, select group of women that I've ever met that truly intended to actually want to invest in me. So,
That's sad.
thank you. I appreciate that. But I caught one of them. So
Yeah. That's so sad that just
Right.
off of that it's so sad that you hear a lot of men, women always dogging men about what they're not doing, but there's a lot of bum women out here too.
Absolutely. It's so many bum women.
And
Like,
and when you meet women and it's women that are in your circle and kind of vibe together, you think like, oh, that's the majority, but you don't realize it's a lot. You're the minority. It's a lot of bum females out there.
if you quiet yourself and if you listen to even people that you're connected to, you'll hear a whole lot of bullshit you'll be like, oh, word, like that's how you move, like, okay, so this is why they feel like
And this is
right?
so then when men treat you a certain way, they meet up and you're like, why are you?
But they argue with me when I say these things.
Oh, it's
like
very
they
true.
like
the men have gotten this way because they've met a lot of bum females along the way, so it's built them up to be like,
Because
okay.
even telling a man you proud of him, like, I'm proud of you, baby. You doing
That's
so
a big
good.
one. Come on.
That's what just like the woman say foreplay start in the morning for you, it starts when
When
you
you
wake
wake
up
up
in the
in the
morning.
I'm telling
Baby,
you.
you
Like,
good,
you
how's
look
work?
nice. You look
How's this?
nice.
How's this? Like my guy now, he dealing in jail since a baby. How's this? How you okay?
Yeah.
Everything. Like sometimes it takes
and
that.
you know what?
If you don't know
if you
that.
flip those onions and peppers, you
You know,
could.
Look at her.
I'm telling
Because I'm gonna do them just like that.
See, I'm gonna teach you how to flip them.
Suck dick,
I
girl.
ain't do this. You should have brought
Hey, this one got a string right now.
What I bring to Frost's house? I brought some dressing.
Yes,
I brought
dressing.
I think I brought a ham.
I'm gonna send you some money to make me some dressing.
Gotcha, I can make you some
It's only
dressing.
certain people can make some good dressing.
I can
You know,
make
like
some good
dressing.
dressing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Good.
Oh, like,
That dressing is good, right?
I was about to take that whole trip. I keep going back. I'm like, shit, I
You can thank my mother for that. I appreciate that, Carla.
Ooh,
I do
girl.
sell pans of dressing if y'all are interested.
Okay, and I need to know.
Right.
Okay. She got them pounds of dress. Elbows. She got them elbows.
Ooh, I got some dresses for you. All right. So me, what makes me feel loved? Listening, and listening to the unspoken. Right, makes me feel loved. So being in tune with me, like you can get to a point with a person where like you guys are so in tune that if I just look at you, look at you. If I look at you, you already know, and you're my cousin. So there's a closeness that it's crazy. But if I look at you, you'll know. All right, something is going on. Something is going on.
Her
with her.
silence lets you know something's going on.
Silence.
Like my silence lets
Silence
me know
is a big. If I'm silent with you, that's probably not a good thing.
She likes to talk all the time.
I want you to hear my voice.
She do. She
I
want to text you. She just wants to
I want to talk to you. I don't want you to text me all day. Hear my voice. I want to hear yours. So that's what makes me feel love, like that listening, and being open to change. Right? Some people are just so dead set in their ways that they're not open to evolving. That's a big problem for me. I want us to evolve together. Let's be great together. Let's grow together. If I'm evolving, come on, baby, I got your hand. You can evolve with me. Some people, they don't want to do that. Maybe it's fear. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's like a problem in a relationship.
So you can't deal with a stagnant person.
I cannot.
Or
I cannot.
a person that's mediocre, they're okay with where they're at right now in life.
Or if you feel that my evolution is a threat to you.
Ooh.
That's a big deal for me.
That
if my
counts,
evolution
but that's just not with men,
it happens with women too.
Men be like, come on, let's go.
Most. There are some that do get fearful of that because they don't like the exposure that may come from the evolution. So.
See, I don't think that you did a really good job at picking the guys because we have two strong entrepreneurs.
That's the only men that I want around me. So I picked the right men.
Top dollar and their legacy, and so we need
some bum ass niggas. So that you're not gonna get that from me. So I did great. I think I did great.
You know, because we need.
Because they won't.
Therapy has led some of us to go past that.
You know what? Even in just talking to both of them, like I talked to him before,
right?
But not as in depth as now. And then even now, after I see him, I talk to him more. But even with Greasy, I'm sorry, Earl. Which one you want me to use? I don't know.
I like Greasy.
Greasy, I get it. So with Greasy, it's just a different. Even what I see on the social media, it's a different person in him. So I love that, but I still see it like it comes out they pores with who they are. Like
you just want to hug me.
Yes, like come on, baby, let me get you. I got you. Okay, walk in. I need you to pick some other people. You never. I'm not telling you never. I'm out here like they hold it, but they I'm not saying get it all together because they got their flaws too.
Right.
But I said we needed but
I don't have
little ones down there.
I don't have those. So I don't. What do you want me to do?
We gotta go on a hunt then.
You know, when I was young, I remember watching the movie Boomerang. Oh God! Lady Sings the Blues. So I saw and I heard she did a good job. She did Diana Ross justice, I heard. But I remember watching these movies, and I saw Billy Dee, I saw Eddie Murphy, and I saw the men in these movies, and so it's good to have images. So hey, first and foremost, let me say, sister, thank you for that high praise, and coming from you with this high praise, and I am a reflection of you, so I appreciate that.
She like you hot. She like,
turn the heat down. Wow.
She like tattoo every
No, Grease is the tattoo guy. I'm the drink guy, so I sit everywhere.
Community. It's a community. Right?
Community,
right? Right.
You got the cigars and the drinks. He got the tattoo.
We good. That's all we
And the
need.
drinks, girl.
Oh yeah.
No other wine.
I still ain't had none of that wine.
2 bottles. That's all I want to say.
But I think it's important that those young men that you speak of, they can see men like themselves, similar to themselves, not too far, not too close, away from them, and kind of go, oh, I can adjust that much more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I think it's good to have those examples for them to kind of see. So they do come on the show, they're just one step closer, and I hope to God that by sitting around y'all, I get one step closer too. So.
And that's the road to manhood, I think, for y'all. Like, have y'all ever thought, not saying that you guys are perfect, but for what I see, you learn and you still learning and you're willing to accept and humbling yourself to say, I still got more to go, but what about those that don't know? Have you ever thought like, man, let me just take one under my wing?
I think they do it all the time though.
But I mean, I'm just like, a married guy right now, don't you? That's just like, dude, you are messing up.
Well, no, I got a very good homie, man, and he comes to me all the time, and we have talks, and yeah, it's
Allegedly.
Strategized every person you picked.
I told you I did. There were very specific reasons why I chose everyone for a particular reason.
We're gonna leave out of here a couple.
A whole family.
Community.
Yes.
We're gonna get your eggs right.
You want to scramble? You like an omelet? You want to eat an omelet?
Want some veggies
Over easy? Sunny side up? You like it folded? Like McDonald's, I can fold them.
Make it look pretty, how they,
That's what I was saying. Gotta add a little milk in there. Make it fluffy. Come on now. That's how you do it, right? All right, let's go into intimacy. Intimacy.
Should we really have
My favorite.
Your favorite topic.
I love all forms of intimacy.
I know you
though.
do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
And I'm open about that. I love
verbal
intimacy.
intercourse.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is some mental stuff.
So there are multiple types of intimacy, right? So there's emotional intimacy, right? There's intellectual, experiential, right? Spiritual, sexual intimacy, right? What do you feel that you missed as far as intimacy goes in your marriage?
What did I miss?
What did you miss? Not what did he miss, what did you miss?
Oh, that's a good question.
I really can't answer that because we just fucked all the time for no reason. So I really
Okay,
can't
so
answer
you
that.
had sexual intimacy down.
We just had it.
But did you really have sexual intimacy down? I'm not talking about just
now that I know what it means.
Okay, thank
you.
Okay.
We had no intimacy of no level.
Okay, so that's what you missed.
Just any intimacy.
Any intimacy?
No, we just had fucking.
Okay, and that's not necessarily intimacy.
No, it's not.
All right.
I had to learn to get intimacy through phone calls, through text messages, through just looking at a person.
Right.
Or just conversation.
It starts up.
I didn't even know those were even types to have for 14 years because we just fucked. That's what we like to do.
And that's okay.
You
Nothing's
understand?
wrong
We
with
got
that,
with each other
though.
when we were 18 years old. So,
But
but
that's okay though. So the fucking is good. Like that's supposed to be there. But then you got to break that fucking down.
yeah.
Right? And that's
Now, as a grown woman, I break that shit all the way down. But before, I didn't know how to break that shit down. I was just like, come on, let's go. But now I know how to, stroke your ego. I know how to get your dick hard over the phone.
Or grab you when you walk right in the door.
I know how to grab your ass. I know how to just
Grab your ass.
So I know how to do that. And I know how to just have a conversation about your day.
Oh, really?
Watch this. So that I learned that, and I don't think that people just should marry young. That is, I'm walking away from this whole thing. Learning,
Please don't marry
but
young.
I never knew that until today. I mean, not until today, until this
Recently,
segment.
right? Yeah.
I thought marrying young. I was like, I talked to my son that's 21, and I'm like, but. Don't ever marry her because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know, and you blame that person. And now me and him, we really good friends. Like we'll talk because we know now. I'll put this aside. Look, we have 2 kings to raise. Absolutely not. There's nothing me and you need to have going on because I know how they love me and I know how they love you, and they need both of us being good together to make them one. So now that I know, and we have a blended family. So even now, it's so awesome to me. Even now, I'm sharing my business. Even now, the woman that is his wife, that's who he cheated on me with. Oh, it's okay. Jesus is okay with that. You're gonna get yours. But I'm okay.
Allegedly.
But I'm okay with it. No, it's not allegedly. It's true. But I'm okay with it because you're helping raising my boys. So I'm okay with it. So anything that you got, I love. Baby, we're good. We're not good with her because she doesn't like our relationship, and that's my problem with women. Why are you ever?
Because she know how she got him, she could possibly lose him. That's the thing.
So
we just here.
I'm not gonna do that right now. Okay, so.
I'm just saying.
I just had to scratch my head. Intimacy.
You knew that was.
You just gonna leave that out.
I did.
Because she always do that to me.
I did. I'm leaving it. I'm dropping that
I'm gonna take
thing.
a page from my brother. No, first of all, I commend you for.
Come on, King. Come on. That's kingdom right there. Right? That's what we talking about.
Your maturity exposed her immaturity. Therefore, put you on.
Come on, King.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's why I can't see it.
Come on,
I knew. I felt it. I was like, oh.
We have made a left.
Tell Terrell I apologize later. Okay. What kind intimacy? What do you feel like you missed in your marriage?
It's complicated. I don't even think it's
Maybe there's not just one, right?
Yeah, it was
not one form.
I don't ever recommend that 2 cancers be together. That's what I was saying.
I don't either.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I've heard that though.
I don't.
I heard that though. I don't recommend any one sign should be together. To be honest,
What do you all?
like? Would you ever think a
Emotional?
Scorpio should be together?
Let me tell you
Aries
something.
never.
Scorpio
in
can-
life.
Let me tell you something
In
about
life.
Aries and Aries really don't. We don't connect. Male and
Never.
female Aries. Don't
What's your sign?
Taurus.
Oh, girl, bad. Y'all like.
We are
Y'all eat each other up. Girl, no. I don't think 2 signs should ever be
2
together.
Scorpios can absolutely be together.
Yeah, because y'all fuck every day. That's it. That's all y'all got in common. We gonna fucking make sure we care a lot about each other. And the bills gonna get paid. The bills gonna get paid.
They're always gonna be paid, and there's gonna be food on the
Your
table.
husband a Scorpio?
No, he's a Gemini. So
See, my ex-husband's Scorpio. That's where they get along.
Okay.
what did you miss?
I think like I hear people say this shit all the time, but I feel like I'm empathic, right? I feel vibrations from people. I feel people on the
Breezy, can you? She's booking an appointment right now. She's already going up to the website. We'll talk about the website at the end.
Just tattoo everything.
Tattoo empathic right now.
But no, I feel vibrations from people. I feel
That was wordplay.
I feel energy from people, and I know that my ex-wife is the same way, and I think both of us being with each other and not communicating as much as we should, and not developing that feeling together, I think it led to a lot of roadblocks in our relationship.
Okay.
Because we were so caught up in the feeling and the energy, and you know, energy is powerful.
Very much
You know, so if you don't know how to harness it and analyze it and put it in the right context and in the right, you know, you end up all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true.
So that was a struggle for our intimacy, because intimacy and vulnerability go hand in hand.
Right.
You have to be vulnerable with somebody.
To be intimate.
But when there's so much energy
You
around
preaching
you,
to that?
no, I'm just speaking on my spirit.
She said it's a record. Yeah, we okay.
Because Vicky told me I'm but no, oh my God.
It's just
Okay. All right.
it's hard to be vulnerable when you got so much stuff in that space.
No, I'm just I got a different understanding.
And she's making her appointment right now. Right?
So after the appointment, then you gonna get married. I got it. I got it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Okay. That's fine. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Vibration.
Mary Row. After you talk to him. So I gotta talk to him first before y'all marry. Okay, I got you.
When you talk to Anthony,
We're gonna saute some onions and peppers.
No. Hypothetically, someone's gonna go home today and tell him, man, hey, say vibrations one time.
I'm telling you.
he's not doing like vibration. No, that's not it.
Like, oh, Greasy gonna teach you how to say vibration.
boiling the front off.
And the community, right?
The men today that boil frogs, they got vibrations. And I don't
So, Carla,
Yes.
what do you feel like you miss, like as far as intimacy?
Honestly, I didn't miss anything. I didn't give the intimacy that I should have.
Okay, so you were dead to the intimacy.
I didn't understand how well. I didn't listen to what he needed to for his intimacy, because he's very open. He's the type of flowers and that type of stuff but I didn't know how to provide that to him. And
So you didn't listen to his love language.
That's what yeah.
That's so important. Let me tell y'all something. Love languages, having that discussion is so important to a relationship.
So I give that to him.
It is.
He was very
extremely important.
On it with that,
Right.
but I didn't know how. I didn't listen to what I wanted to do for him, to show him love how I like love shown to me, which wasn't what he was.
It's different.
Right.
Yeah, it's different.
She was just a gangster in the relationship, basically.
Look at her hand. Look at her hand.
I like
Wait.
it.
Show your hand. That's a gangster.
He was a gangster in the relationship.
No. But see, I think honestly, I don't think it's the age you get married. I think it's the maturity in the mind. Like I think everybody needs to have therapy. Honestly, you should have therapy before you get married.
By the right person, though. No.
Premarital counseling.
Exactly.
But you gotta be
by the
open
right
to it.
person. No. Everyone is not equipped. I know. Everyone is not equipped to provide therapy or marriage counseling. Let me see your fruit.
Yeah.
I want to know your fruit, right? What are you what are you offering, right? And I thought I had marriage counseling by one of the best,
And it was
right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the person who provided the marriage counseling. It was the people who got married at 23 and 24 years old, and that never should have happened on any level. I don't care. Getting married at 23 and 24 is a mistake every time.
I don't agree with that, and here's why. Because one of my best friends is married to his high school sweetheart. Another one of our good friends is married to his high school sweetheart. Both of them have successful marriages.
That's an anomaly, though.
It's not for me to know 2 people. I don't know 10 people who are happily married.
But that's an anomaly,
All
though,
of
for
those,
most.
I know too. It depends on the emotional maturity. It depends on
Okay.
where you are.
Come on, vibrations.
And what who are you going to be as a person?
And that's true. And it also
Because-
depends on who you marry, right? That person that you marry. So perhaps the person that I married was not the right person at that time. Perhaps the person, or maybe
wasn't. He's an awesome father.
absolutely
He was not a good husband, but I wasn't a good wife. So
Right.
we married young.
Right,
We got
absolutely.
awesome parents.
But when you can acknowledge that, that you're not a good husband and not a good wife, and you
for
can-
that person.
right, for that person.
It may not mean that you're
I'm
not
a
across
bomb
the
ass
board
wife right
though.
now, but I ain't married, but I am.
Right.
Speak that into existence. That's what you do. Manifestation, right?
She like,
Not yet.
Okay.
Not
Well, then
yet.
you.
Not yet.
I'm ready when you're ready though for you. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Cause I feel like if you married somebody had a right now, you're gonna get the same person. I'm just saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
Not necessarily. Intimacy. What do you feel like you have? What do you feel like you may be lacking as far as intimacy goes?
Lacking.
Here. Outside of eggs.
I was about to say, she like, I don't make my eggs.
Oh,
like I
eggs
like
are
it.
Okay, eggs are.
I don't make my eggs like I like it. She like,
Eggs are lovely.
you know what you're doing.
I think my critique on myself is I'm still in that young man's phase, and I should have pushed beyond that now, but I'm not. So I'm still in my phase where you're just kind of hustling to make money, and so I think time is the biggest thing that if all things being perfect, I would definitely kind of give more time to my wife. Because I'm still in grind mode. I'm still looking for the next opportunity, next business, next thing, and I think this is what my grandmother said to me when I told her I was getting married. I was 30 at the time, and she said, "Well, son, you should wait till you're 45." I said, "Grandma, why should I wait till I'm 45?" She said, "Son, by then you'll know better, right?" And I think that response was funny, and I took it as funny, but really it just meant everything. Now I can see it means everything, because A, not only would I know better, A, not to get married then, but B, I could potentially have been an even better husband at 45 because I know better, right? But by the grace of God, I had a woman that understood the hustle, understood the grind, and because she's herself a hustler, and all things being perfect, if I can give anything more, it'd be more time to her.
Got it. That's
And
important.
that is a love language, right? That's one of the
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
It's gifts,
So
deeds.
There's more than 5 love languages.
languages?
Absolutely. And that's what people don't really know. So we can have a discussion on that too.
Eggs is right.
Eggs is a
You're
love
right. That's what I'm
language.
saying. 6. It's 6. 6 love languages. Eggs.
Right. So I want to do a quick Q&A session. Right. We got a little more time to record. So quick Q&A session. Okay. I want y'all to ask the questions. Carla,
Oh.
you get one question to ask the group.
Okay, so would you be open to marrying a bisexual person?
Are you asking me?
No,
Okay.
a person that's bisexual.
Greasy.
Yeah.
For the benefit.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
For the benefit. So if you marry a woman that's bisexual, then there is another woman that joins in that. So would you really I'm not talking about is that it sounds good, but she's talking about a marriage.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
if
willing
she's
to
like,
be
I
married
need
to
to
someone?
time, not even with him. I need time to just be with.
I'm just saying I'm open
my urge
to
for
it.
one.
I know there are different levels of
They think-
bisexuality where a woman is concerned. So for me, it's not always a plus. There are some women who walk that line in a way that I may not be comfortable with, but I'm open to it. Like if she says she likes to dabble, it depends on the level of where she is with that. I'm with that
What do you mean the level?
because
You mean just experimenting, or this is my lifestyle? This is what I do.
I
there
like
are
this
levels.
too, but I
There are
love you.
levels.
I want to be married
There
to
are
you.
women who like a man and want him as an anchor, but are going to be trying to fuck a whole lot of other women.
Okay, is that what you want in your? Would you be open to that in your marriage?
Not that particular end of the spectrum. That's why I'm saying I'm open to it as a whole, but it depends on the individual. You got to put a resume out for me. I got to interview. I got to ask some questions. I don't just.
So let's communicate.
Yeah, most guys hear a woman say, "I like women too," and they like, "Yeah,
yes, open the door, the floodgates." Right.
I need to know what else is to it.
Right.
What we gonna be doing? Because you could just be bringing more bills in the house.
Oh, we don't want that. We don't want extra. Yes.
You like women so much, you gonna fuck a bunch of broke bitches, and now we trying to get millions.
We on the hook over there.
You feel me?
That makes sense. Okay, Crystal.
No, for a bisexual man, no. For a bisexual woman, never again.
Okay, so you would not be open, obviously, to Ro saying, you know what, I'm a booty bandit.
Ever. Not ever. Never. And I would be like, you know what, go burglar No. I cannot deal with bisexual men, no.
He's like, I'm the top.
I'm the best, baby. I'm the best.
No, never.
Okay. All right. Wayman.
I think.
So here we go. Get introspective. Does she make eggs? Does she make eggs?
Like, no, her eggs are a little bit better than my wife.
That's my answer. But no, we'll talk. Marriage is a big thing to me. A big thing, right? So a woman that's married to me, I would be open to her. If she's worthy to be married to me, then that means the expanse of her identity I would be open to.
So yes.
But she has the past.
Yes. So yes.
Teamwork
makes the dream in the community. In the community, right?
To the community.
All right, to the community. All right. Carla.
A booty burglar? No.
Booty bandit.
Burglar, top, bottom. No.
Right.
What if you were to marry a woman?
What if who?
You were to marry a woman.
That wasn't the question though. We got to stay on.
I don't say marriage.
Yeah.
She said, "Would you be open if your spouse?"
Your spouse can be a woman or a man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why I answered both. I said if it was a woman, absolutely never again. I said if it was a man, absolutely not.
I've never swam in a lady pool.
Oh.
I've heard it's next. I mean, I'm just saying, hey, who knows what may happen after tonight?
The lady pool is quite warm. I just want to say it's been all my life.
That's what she said. Y'all in a relationship with all of us. This is covenant right here. Covenant. That's what this is. We've created a covenant,
We have
right?
created a little
Absolutely. Nice little community.
So who knows?
Okay.
It's fun at the lady pool.
All right, Wayman. What is your question for the group?
I mean, to be funny, I'll go ahead and ask, what is your relationship superpower? Like, in a relationship, you know this is the thing you do well.
No.
Oh,
Crystal,
I'm a caterer.
you are. I know this to be true.
That's what's up.
Because she caters to me. So she does, like, literally, like, so she will, across the board. I know this to be true. Absolutely.
Yes, I'll make sure you're good. Whatever you need, I'll make sure it's there. I'll go get it. If it's something you asked about, I want anybody that I love to be comfortable and safe and just have a good time. Whatever it is, I'm just a caterer. Whatever that means. I can't have sex with my cousin, but I would. You need sex? Okay, come on. You need some girls? Okay, come on. Let's go. That's just me.
So let me
Bless
cater
your
to
ministry.
you. Let me cater to you. That's how you feel, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because baby, this is your
You know
day.
that. You know that.
I do, Breezy. What's your relationship superpower?
I guess love, man. I don't know, man. Women just be falling in love with me, man. If I spend enough time with them.
Oh my God.
We in love with
Go ahead and say vibration. Say vibration.
But it's a gift, man.
I don't belong.
Website, lady.
I think I got it right here.
Don't say right, but I'm going to get a text. I mean, I just need to know who loves something. Right here.
I need something right here. Good. Right here. Wait a minute. I got it right here. Right here. I got right here.
That sounds bad, though. That sounds bad.
Don't tell me.
Tell me.
We talking about
That's the truth.
vibrations and it's just too much going on. I don't know what you done put up in here.
We made the
Suck the ice though.
www.blackartdealer.com.
But let me tell you something.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. I was not always this way, right?
Okay.
A lot of what I've learned about women came from women, highly evolved women
Right.
who share things like this will make you a better man, and because I was open to that, and because they gave me a link or a book or something, I went out and researched it and read it. It made me a better man, all the way around. So
That's the thing with him. He's a reader, though. So he reads.
But you would seem like you would just want to put him on your shoulder, like, come here, let me teach you something.
baby.
Let's read this book together.
That's not how I see him. I see him as a star pupil. Like, come on, try me, bitch. 'Cause I done read all these books. So let's go.
You like you the mentor.
That's how I see
So
him.
funny. Carla, what is
Took a whole turn.
Because she made it this way. I'm not sure she's strategic. Everything
He's
she
still
do.
This hot in here.
She's like the one that's holding the strings, like. Yeah, you got nothing to say. Oh, you ain't got nothing to say.
Security.
Okay. I like that.
I got you, no matter what, no matter how much. And I don't know if it's to a fault or not, but it's like if I tell you like I got you, no matter what. Even if we part, I still like if I've loved you, I still love you. And
Protection.
Yeah.
And the phone ringing
There's somebody
validates
calling
that.
for
They
you.
validate for that security, baby. That's what that is.
I follow
Follow instructions well. Right.
It's the empathy lady.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
No,
Right.
I
We might have
listen.
to edit some of this stuff.
Allegedly. So what's the marker? Whenever you heard say allegedly.
Don't do that. Don't do it, Sam. Don't do it.
But no, it's my ability to listen,
Okay.
and so because of that, I know what you need, I know what you want, I know what you need probably before you do, and so I follow your instructions.
Well,
Okay.
now.
All right. That's what we got. Oh, my relationship.
You know, been waiting.
I think I have multiple actually, but my biggest one is I'm a writer.
See, look. I didn't know what she was gonna say. I know what she's trying to say. Really? You gonna say it like that? Go back.
Now, that the peanut gallery has.
Because I knew what she was gonna say. I know you was gonna use that word.
Writer? I am a writer. Straight up, I'm a writer.
In all aspects.
In all aspects of a relationship, I'm a writer. So you say like I got.
Knees is great.
Okay, you got the leg to stallion.
I do. Trust me.
She get the
But seriously, like, oh, we going here, we doing that. Oh, you did this.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying. Oh, where we gotta hide the. Well, you know what I'm.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Proverbial.
Even if she don't like it.
I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
because you're mine, and I'm gonna protect you, and that's what I do. I'm gonna protect you, and I'm gonna. That love is just gonna exude. Like that's what I want to do. Like I want you to feel that warmth, that love. So that's what I do. One of the things. So, but We done.
Greasy and
We got vibration.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Vibrations are extremely high. Shout out to Snow Leggett.
it's all type of energy going on now.
Yes, absolutely. So, but I love you guys. Thank you so much. This was amazing. This was amazing. We could honestly, I mean, this could go for hours. We could do part 3. We could do part 6. Honestly, like marriage and divorce in the Black community is so extremely important to talk about because I don't feel like it's talked about enough.
No, it's not.
Right? And a lot of things that we talked about, I don't know if you guys noticed, but these are like cultural things that we discussed. Because what I've noticed, even in talking to like different groups, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, you know, we got our, you know, whether it's Eastern, Western Asian or whatever, they don't necessarily have the same issues and the same communication loopholes that we have in relationships. So I think that in order for us to continue to educate others and continue to stay educated ourselves, these are conversations that we should have on a consistent basis in an open and a safe environment like Smoke-Filled Room. So we thank you for that. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
always.
Gratitude.
Yes, so thank you. We are wrapping. We're going to see y'all in next month.
You want to do a different one?
We are going to do a different one next month. We're excited. Thank you.
Part 3 is going to be at the W.
Okay.
Keeping this at the back.
Black-owned businesses, baby. So I want to give a special.
This is my cheer.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to inflate the pool right here.
Come on now. But I do want to give a special thanks to my panel today. So we've got Crystal, we've got Earl, Greasy, Carla, we have Wayman, we have Victoria. Victoria Carter, she is our floor director. She's so amazing. So
She is.
I could talk about it for hours. I could literally talk about my heart for hours. And then we have Simeon Frierson. He is the videographer of videographers. So we thank y'all. God bless and good night.